that their brother, who was in the same house with them, helping with the dishes, sharing the table, and maybe sometimes they argued with him. After all, they sent him out of the house once. They said, why don't you go join your disciples? Aren't you going there for the feast? It just dawned on them. He was truly the Son of God. He always was who he claimed to be. He said, I am from above. And they thought he was nuts. Now they understood it. He surely came from above. He said, what if you see the Son of Man ascend back to where he came from? He had asked them. He said, what if you see that? What are you going to say? Didn't even answer him. And now it happened. He went. And now nobody talks. The back slumped into the seats. Yeah. This Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. You want to know about life? It's Jesus. He declared who he was. He says, I am the life. The way, the truth, and the life. And he also told us he's the way, the only way to God. He says, no one comes to the Father but by me. There's no other way. Some people say there are many ways to God. No, Jesus says there's only one way, and that he is that one way. That's what Jesus said. He made the declaration. St. John's Gospel, chapter 14, verse number 6. Let's read. Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Don't you ever forget it. In the book of Acts, chapter 4, and verse number 12. In Peter's message, he made this declaration. Neither is there salvation in any other. For there's none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. He says there's no salvation in any other. For there's none other name under heaven given among men for salvation. There's no other way. Jesus is the only way. Now, just so you understand what's happening in our world, do you realize that that statement is going to be prohibited by several governments in no too distant time from now? It will be a crime to make that statement, which Jesus himself made. It will be called a hate speech. And guess what? We have the deep church, which are really religious lunatics. Okay? They're going to support that stuff, and you know what? It'll become a crime to say anything negative about Satan. Write down what I just told you. It'll become a crime to say anything negative about Satan. It'll be called hate speech. Why? Because all that's going on now is being ordered by him, being controlled by him through the deep state and the deep church. And like our news panel yesterday, I think it was Palm Springs, that said the deep tech. So you got all, yeah, they're all deep now. See. So, but the painful part of it is the churchy part. Because they're the ones that will help craft this satanic idea. It become wrong to say Jesus is the only way. Why? Because they are the ones planning for the one world religion. You cannot have a one world religion when you say Jesus is the only way. So every minister, every pastor, every preacher that is a proponent of the one world religion is definitely going to persecute those who say Jesus is the only way. They cannot accept it because there's no one world religion with Jesus being the only way. And because Satan heads up that system, according to the Bible, how can they insult him? How can anybody be allowed to insult him? You cannot say anything negative about Satan anymore. It will become hate speech. This is where this is all driving. This is where it's going. The Bible already shows us. And they are rehearsing right now. And because we are still here and we are declaring the amazing, all-powerful name of Jesus Christ, they can't stop us until we are gone out of here. They cannot enforce it. They may make the laws, but they cannot enforce them because we will break them.
Yes, sir.
So this is what's happening. This is what they're rehearsing. The totalitarian regime for the whole world. So they're trying it. Make this mandatory. Mandatory. And they're practicing it. Closing bars. And when they close bars, they know Christians will be like, okay, that's nice. We don't go to bars anyways. Listen, when they close anything, whether it's for Christians or non-Christians, you have to say no. Why? I'll tell you why.
Yes, sir.
It's an infringement on your human rights.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You have the right to make your choice. Now they're going to tell you what you must do.
Yes.
So mandatory to wear a mask under the guise that we're trying to save others. So it's a respect to other people so that you don't infect other people. Where is the science behind it? Look at the crazy thing that's going on. In several counties and cities and states, it's the political leaders that are voting over to accept or to make it mandatory or not. When did political leaders have to make the decision on science? And then they tell us to follow the science. And then it becomes a political decision. It's crazy. Look at this, folks. I think they're taking the whole world for a ride. Because when they asked us to go into our holes, we all went into the houses and we waited. So they said, wow, it worked. So they believe they have this control. You don't.
Yes, sir. Don't. Yes, sir.
I understand that in some cities already, in some places, in some countries around the world, there are protests against vaccines.
Yes.
And those protests will continue.
Yes.
For a reason.
Yes.
Why must it be mandatory? Look at this. Look at this. Look at these people who made decisions, questionable decisions, on questionable data. And they question those who question their decisions. Why shouldn't your decisions be questioned when you made the decisions on the basis of questionable data?
Yes, sir.
If I sound angry, it's because God is angry at you.
Yes, sir. Yes. Holy Sakabariki. Leba Satabakaya.
You will soon find out.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. Polo Sedeba.
Look at this deep church in St. Luke's Gospel, chapter 20 and verse 19. Look